What's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of All the Nerdy Details, and today we're talking about why this is better than this, but both of these are better than this. In this series, we nerd out on the science and physics that play a role in just about everything. We dive into the way things work and examine the incredible engineering that goes into going fast. So, all the upgrades I've been doing to the Impreza lately, I've kind of ran into something that I wanted to do for a while, which is upgrade the harmonic balancer. Now, there's a lot of talk about harmonic balancers and pulleys, whether to be lightweight or have mass or be overdrive or underdrive. I wanted to get into a little bit of a discussion as to why it's best to have a good, well-engineered harmonic balancer for your performance vehicle, especially if you're making overstock levels of the horsepower, and why the factory one really just isn't adequate for that. So let's start off with what a harmonic balancer is. A harmonic balancer, also known as the crank pulley, sits on the front of your motor and it spins with the motor, and it usually drives all of your accessories on the front of the motor. There's a couple key parts to the harmonic balancer itself. So it's not just a solid pulley. It is a hub, which is the part that actually slips onto the crankshaft, and then there is the outer ring, which has the ribs for driving all of your serpentine belts, and in between the two is actually sort of a rubber impregnation that joins the two together, and so what that does, it allows the outer ring to basically be suspended in rubber and spin on its own. So what does this do for the car? Your engine creates harmful vibrations just from the detonation and the rotation of the reciprocating assembly, because you got pistons and rods switching directions, and everything is balanced, yes, but there are some vibrations that still get let out of the engine even just from the detonation. Okay, so basically the way that this works, thanks to Newton's first law of object that is in motion remains in motion, this thing has inertia when it's rotating. So the outer ring has rotating inertia, and since it's suspended in the rubber, if any vibrations transfer through the hub, the outer ring rotating suspended in the rubber actually absorbs some of the vibrations. This thing is actually helping reduce all of the engine vibration, and it also stops transfer vibration from any of the accessories that is being driven off the outside. Now, the problem with this is that over time, the rubber degrades and the pulley will start to wobble, or in some really bad cases, the pulley can even come off of the hub because the rubber is just completely gone, which is not good. Now, why would you not want to get a lightweight pulley? So there's lots of lightweight aluminum pulleys on the market that you can buy. The problem with lightweight pulleys is, yes, they do reduce your rotating mass, but you lose the dampening effect when you have a lightweight pulley because they don't have a lot of rotating mass and they don't have any rings suspended in rubber to help dampen the vibration. So actually, aluminum pulleys are more harmful for your motor than having the factory harmonic balancer on it. So they may look fancy and flashy, but you could actually be harming your motor because those vibrations that get dampened by the harmonic balancer can actually cause damage to the engine bearings. All that vibration from the reciprocating assembly can transfer into the engine bearings and cause micro welding. Pieces of the engine bearings start to try and weld itself to the journal assembly. So having a good harmonic balancer, especially in a high performance engine application, can also extend the life of the engine because you're saving all of your engine bearings. So I chose an ATI Super Damper. So why is this better than the factory one? It's not a rubber impregnation. It is O-rings. So you have different durometer O-rings, and that can be tuned by ATI for the certain engine and application. So you have two pieces to your factory one. You have the hub and the outer ring. These are more of a three-piece assembly. So you actually have the hub, the outer ring, then you have the inertia ring that houses all the O-rings. These are designed so that most of your rotating mass is in the inertia ring. So not only do you have a second isolation between the accessory drive and the crank, but you also have most of your rotating mass in this assembly right here, so you get the maximum dampening that you can get out of it. Cool thing is these are rebuildable, so as the O-rings wear and They change hardness. You can take them apart, you can replace all the O-rings, throw them back together, and then you're good for another 10 years. The other advantage that you get to this is you have a press fit on the hub of the pulley. When you're spinning at higher RPMs, you have less likelihood of the pulley to start wobbling. So all that's left to do is install this bad boy, and we can go try her out. I don't know how I can line it up with the key, but I can't see it.
Ooh, put the baby in the engine.
Okay, so right off the bat, I already noticed that there's less vibration from the motor at idle in the car. Now, I've got the worst case scenario because I have pretty hard poly motor mounts and poly transmission mounts, so I'm going to get the most engine vibration, and it already feels a heck of a lot smoother than it did before, so that probably goes to show that my factory harmonic balancer might have been a little worn out.